Have you ever stopped to think that behind the world's biggest brands, there's often an extremely simple idea? That's right. Smart entrepreneurship begins by identifying opportunities in everyday life. And to inspire you, we're going to show you 5 real and incredible stories of giant brands that were born from seemingly trivial solutions, but that changed the business world and became huge billion-dollar success stories. They will surely surprise and inspire you greatly, trust me. So, let's go. 1. Post-it, the failure that became a solution. In the 1970s, Spencer Silver, a 3M scientist, was developing a super strong adhesive. Instead, he ended up creating a substance that stuck but could be easily removed without damaging surfaces. Was this a failure? Not for Art Fry, a colleague at the company who constantly lost his place in his church hymnal. Fry had the idea of applying this adhesive to the edges of small pieces of paper. The result was a reusable and practical bookmark. And so, the Post-it was born. What was a laboratory error became an item present in offices and homes worldwide because it transformed a common problem, marking pages without damaging the book, into a practical and universal solution. Furthermore, with his strategic vision, he knew how to scale this simple idea into a global product. He even promoted campaigns to expand and increase the use of the Post-it. Today, it's used in various ways, not just as a bookmarker. It's impossible to imagine offices and study environments without it. A failure became a global empire of organization and productivity. How can this inspire us? Not every mistake is an end. Sometimes, it's the beginning of a solution the market doesn't even know it needs yet. Therefore, be attentive to opportunities that arise from unforeseen circumstances and transform challenges into innovations, validating the usefulness of your idea in daily life. 2. Heinz Ketchup. From medicine to bestseller. The origin of ketchup is quite different from what many imagine. It all started with a fermented sauce called K-tip, created in Asia around the 17th century. This sauce was made from fish and spices and was used to mask the taste of poorly preserved meats. So, this sauce was meant to help disguise the bad taste of some foods. Over time, the recipe spread through different cultures and was modified, but still without tomatoes. In the 19th century in the United States, Dr. John Cook Bennett began promoting a version made with tomatoes as a natural remedy for digestive problems. At the time, it was believed that this worked, and the idea was to turn the sauce into medicinal pills. However, it was Henry Heinz who saw the true potential of the formula, not as medicine, but as a daily consumer product. Heinz's insight was to focus on the purity of the ingredients, including ripe red tomatoes, which already have a natural preservative, and on standardizing the recipe. Thus, he created a combination of ingredients to make the flavor much more pleasant and delicious, in addition to lasting longer and taking more time to spoil. He also understood that people at the time didn't always have time to create their sauces daily. In 1876, Heinz launched Heinz Ketchup, focusing on standardized flavor, consistency, and something revolutionary: transparency. The glass packaging made the product visible to the consumer, which conveyed trust and quality at a time when food manipulation was a cause for distrust. With marketing focused on trust and quality, Heinz transformed an everyday item into a food empire, showing that a common product can be reinvented with a focus on consumers and excellence. Today, what started as an exotic sauce and then a medicine has become one of the most consumed condiments on the planet, present in more than 200 countries. How can this inspire us? Innovation isn't always about creating something from scratch, but about improving what already exists, adding value, and building a solid reputation. Also, common products can become extraordinary with good positioning and a strong brand. 3. Airbnb, an inflatable mattress and a simple idea. In 2007, two friends in San Francisco, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, were struggling to pay their apartment rent. They then discovered that there was a design event in the city and that hotels were fully booked. Their insight was to realize that if hotels were full, there was an unmet demand for accommodation. They didn't have a hotel, but they had extra space and inflatable mattresses. The initial idea was simple: air, bed, and breakfast. They put an inflatable mattress in the living room and advertised it. And they hosted 3 people at first. The experience was so successful that they saw an opportunity to connect people with idle space to travelers looking for affordable and authentic accommodation. Thus, Airbnb was born, scaling by creating a platform that revolutionized hospitality, transforming vacant rooms into a global network of accommodations. How can this inspire us? A temporary solution can be the definitive idea. Pay attention to what works in practice. Often, validating a business idea begins with a simple, low-cost test, solving an immediate need and creating a bridge between supply and demand. 4. Band-Aid, a caring gesture that became an essential product. In the 1920s, Earl Dixon, an employee at Johnson & Johnson, wanted to help his wife, who frequently cut herself while cooking. He had a simple idea: attach pieces of gauze to adhesive tape so she could protect herself without help. His boss at the time liked the invention so much that he decided to commercialize it. Thus, Band-Aid, the world's first adhesive bandage, was born. Initially, sales were slow, until the company began distributing free samples to soldiers during World War II. This led the product to gain global recognition. Today, it's practically impossible to find a home without a Band-Aid, even with various shapes and designs, with printed art on the Band-Aids, which further reinforces the strength of the brands. How can this inspire us? The creation of Band-Aid shows how the greatest ideas can arise from love, empathy, and sensitive observation of everyday life. Earl wasn't trying to start a business, he just wanted to help someone he loved. At the same time, when you embark on a business from a real need, especially one that touches people's emotions, the chances of creating something lasting increase exponentially. When a solution is practical and solves a real problem, success is almost inevitable. 5. Netflix, from video store late fees to global streaming. Not so long ago, there were famous video rental stores and it was a gigantic market. However, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, the founders of Netflix, constantly had problems with late returns of tapes at video rental stores. And they constantly paid fines for these delays. And from this headache, their insight was to question the business model of traditional rental stores. They thought, what if we could rent movies without leaving home and without fines? The initial idea was simple: send DVDs by mail with a subscription model that eliminated late fees. It seemed like a niche idea, but it solved a huge problem for millions of people: inconvenience and fines. Over time, Netflix didn't get complacent. The great strategic vision was to realize the rise of the internet and the possibility of delivering content digitally. Thus, they shifted their focus to streaming, revolutionizing how we consume entertainment and becoming a global giant, showing that the ability to adapt and a vision for the future are as important as the initial idea. How can this inspire us? Observe market frustrations and inefficiencies. Many of the best business ideas are born from the search for a more convenient and efficient solution to existing problems. And the ability to evolve with the market is fundamental for the longevity of your business. What do all these stories have in common? The big lesson here is simple. You don't need a brilliant and complex idea to start a successful business. Often, it's by observing daily life, its errors, laziness, and improvised solutions that the most profitable and innovative ideas arise. Thus, the differential lies in the insight to transform a common problem into a scalable solution, as well as the ability to plan and execute that vision. And just out of curiosity, did you know any of these business ideas that were born from simple things and became gigantic global businesses? Write it in the comments below so we can know. And if you're looking for inspiration to start your own business, watch this video which shows 5 highly profitable small business ideas that few people know about and which could be great opportunities. To watch it, just click this button above or the link we left in the description. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to know more about how to set up and manage your own business, visit our YouTube channel where we have several videos about this subject. If you liked it, share this video with your friends and family to help them too. Thanks, and see you next time.